We're going to go over the latest Conway the Machine record, Look What I Became.
He became a machine.
He became a machine.
Like, what is it? RoboCop. That's
Terminator.
That's what RoboCop said when he woke up. Look what I became.
What I became. Conway, aka Conway the Machine, is a Buffalo MC, older brother of Griselda Records founder Westside Gunn, and they are cousins with Benny the Butcher, who's also on Griselda Records.
Yeah.
I think that these three, especially Conway, is known for the revival of like this 90s era East Coast hardcore hip hop. They have a very distinctive slurred voice that was a result from complications from multiple gunshot wounds he received in 2012. He talks about this at length on some of his songs. He talks about how his face was basically paralyzed. If you ever see him talk, like one side of his mouth like just doesn't move at all. It's almost like somebody that had a stroke. And he's currently signed to Shady Records, founded by, of course, Eminem.
Yeah.
And Eminem was on a single earlier this year, Bang, that he released, which I thought was pretty good. And right now, Conway is set up to drop a collab with Griselda Records, so Westside Gunn and Benny. I'm not sure if anybody else is on that label.
Someone is. I can't remember their name.
I
think they're pretty.
These are the big three.
Yeah.
And this collab is called What Would Sheen Gun Do, which I'm really excited for it. It's coming out later this month. Also, his debut studio album, Gods Don't Make Mistakes, is coming out in October, which apparently will feature Schoolboy Q, Rhapsody, and 50 Cent, and have the Bang single with Eminem on that. So that's his Shady Records.
Yeah,
debut.
which is the most unoffensive Eminem feature I heard in a while. So
it's better than I thought it would be.
Yeah.
So this EP or mixtape or whatever he wants to call it, this project is supposed to be a precursor to Gods Don't Make Mistakes.
We reviewed Everyone Is Food 3 earlier this year. That was essentially Conway. He made it in like 2 days or something in the course of 3 days. I
don't know. The way that Griselda rappers or signees, basically Westside, Benny, and Conway, the way that they make records is really weird.
Yeah.
Because I feel like every month we are ending up reviewing one or more of them, like their projects. Every single month they're coming out with new stuff.
Yeah.
And it's like, it's almost like oversaturation of a market that nobody asked for.
Yeah.
But for the most part, I have fun.
Yeah.
For everything that they release, like some of it's rough, but there's always like some diamonds in there, which I find to be fun. And of course, we're getting 2 big projects later this month, supposed to be.
Yeah. I think we are definitely getting the
What would Sheen
Conway,
Gun
the Sheen Gun.
I thought that was confirmed for later this month.
No, the Conway.
Conway is for sure this month.
Yeah.
Gods Don't Make Mistakes, because that's on a major label, so they're gonna.
Which I don't know if the Sheen Gun album was supposed to be the major label debut, so I'm really confused on how they release this. And also, out of all 3 people, why is Conway the one that gets the major label debut instead of Westside?
Yeah,
because Westside, like, regardless,
we don't want to cause any family problems.
Yeah, we don't want to cause any family problems. I like Conway; he's fine. Like, I haven't heard anything so far that like makes me think that he's like a terrible artist by any means, but like he's not as good as his brother. His brother is the major. He's the one that gets to collaborate with Doom.
Yeah,
he's the one that gets the.
He's the one that goes. Boop, boop, boop,
he's the one that gets the Anderson .Paak feature.
Paak.
He gets the Benny or Busta Rhymes features. Like, he's the major guy. But like Benny is like the second to that, where he's been getting like the Pusha feature, and he got the Roots. I can't think of his name. Black Thought feature. So.
And I don't think Conway's anything to shake a stick at either, because he got the Eminem feature. He's got the DJ Muggs feature on this record here. But like, yeah, I definitely have to say I think I prefer Westside over.
And it's also like one problem with this is like we're again, you mentioned oversaturating the market. I think this is the first project where I'm like, yeah, it feels like I've heard this before.
Yeah,
like Westside Gun, I felt that a little bit, but like you get like the Mad Lib tracks,
Gunlib,
the collaborations, the few collaborations they had, and then you would just get like it just felt different. He would like go into different like moments talking about like love in this weird way. And,
Wrestling.
Like it felt a little bit different, but it was still same. But it was different enough that it worked.
Yeah.
This just felt same. But it's better than Everybody's Food 3, because Everybody's Food 3 had some moments. This album kind of does the same thing, but it had like it stripped a trap at one point. It was just kind of messy. Some of the features really didn't support Conway.
Yeah.
This feels better. It kind of has some random shakeups because it's supposed to be 90s. His aesthetic is 90s.
He's sticking to his guns here.
Yeah, for a majority of it. Because for like at least the first like half of this, it's pretty traditional like East Coast hardcore hip hop. So you get these like these soul and these jazz samples, and for like Hawks and Tito's back, it feels like very Void like, very interesting, and it fits the aesthetic. And like No Woman, No Kids and Hawks feels like Conway's important on these tracks. I don't think he's stepping it up as much as Benny the Butcher did on his last project, because Benny made it feel like he was like desperate.
Yeah.
Conway doesn't really have that like urge of desperation for this, but it's also like supposed to be like a teaser project. But it feels more important than like his previous like solo project. I think most notable moment, Tito's back, Westside Gunn and Benny the Butcher feature. They work best as a trio.
I really like everything they put out as a trio. It feels very family-esque, like very. There's a lot of camaraderie. You can just tell, and like they don't poke fun at each other. They always back each other up, but like I can just tell like that they work really well together because of that like family aesthetic. Conway obviously has the longest verse on here. It's probably half of the 5-minute track, and Benny's got the choruses and a verse, and then the best part, my favorite part of this whole project, is Westside Gunn's feature on Tito's back, because he comes on here, he gives the longest boom 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 ad lib I've heard so far. I think we should time them. Like I'm really curious.
We were talking off camera, and I really just want a track that's just that ad lib and see how long they can do it for before they like pass out.
I really am curious about which song has the longest ad lib, but that would require me to go and listen to every single Westside feature or project, because I'm sure he does it every single time. But like his very first line is, "I'm the king of New York. I don't even gotta rap," and so he just doesn't. He ad-libs and just makes noises and like drops one-liners, but like never actually raps.
What was it?
He says something like, "I don't even remember what water tastes like anymore. It tastes like champagne."
No, it's all champagne.
It's all champagne.
Which made me think about the kitchen, like his kitchen sink just comes out of champagne. Let's say he needs to like wash out his eyes. He got something in his eyes. He just goes
It's all champagne. I think that's like it's just so funny. It's such a like younger brother thing to do as well, like just being really mischievous. And Conway and Benny are like super hard on the first couple of verses on here, the first couple of minutes, and Westside just comes in and knocks down their block tower. His verse is hilarious because of that.
Vino D is a weird. I like the moment Black Spoons too. That has a really rough, rigged atmosphere with the DJ Muggs feature. I think it really works for Conway's aesthetic. Vino D, that track has a very like R&B, modern day R&B type feel. Has Jim Jones, Dave East, and El Camino on it. El Camino recently snitched out by Tekashi 6ix9ine.
He got him.
It works. It's a nice mix up. Like this switch up felt not super important, but it worked enough to where it didn't feel completely out of the field. Whereas half of it is trap and it just doesn't work. It makes Conway sound like Rick Ross without like a deeper tone. If Conway did not slur like because of the gunshot wounds, he would sound like Rick Ross.
Yeah, I think so.
It would just sound the same. It's just so generic, and there's nothing really to it. And I think that's all I really gotta say. I think Conway stands out more impressive than last time, but he still isn't really super noteworthy. I think the people he works with is interesting, and I think the fact that he's coming up is really interesting. in the whole entire Griselda scene is really interesting, but it just doesn't make super memorable moments.
Yeah, I think that with all three of the members of Griselda releasing projects so frequently, it obviously will get their name out and it'll increase streams and it'll help their popularity, blah, 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 whatever. But I want there to be more noteworthy moments from them. I think West Side has showed me some noteworthy moments. I think Benny is working on it. I feel like Conway needs to step up a little bit.
Yeah.
That's not to say the record's bad. I think he's got the technical ability. I think he's got the right ideas. His take on this like 90s hip hop is a popular one.
Yeah.
And I think that it will serve him well in the future. I can't tell you how many people I've like talked to on a daily basis and are like, I don't care for, I hate this mumble rap stuff.
Yeah.
I really want to go back to old days of like NWA, blah, blah, blah. But not East Coast.
Yeah.
That's very West Coast. But that's like all they care about. And I think that if turned on to somebody like Conway, they would become lifelong listeners of him. So, but I personally just want him to step it up a little bit because I want reason to continue to listen to him.
Yeah. Keep in mind those scores. If you tell me this right now, I'm filling up 5-6.
I'd agree with that.
Yeah. I think if you're interested in the style or like an older sound, I'd definitely give it a listen.
Yeah.